Sorry for being late. Or like a couple minutes late. How's everybody doing? Oops, I had the wrong mic on. Well, we got our guest already here. He's a quick one, stuff like that. So let's welcome Mr. Ben Coombs.
Young
What's going
Mr.
on, Ben?
Bradford.
How you doing?
I'm doing, you know, another day above ground, so I'm happy.
It's another day, another dollar.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so what's happening with you? What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, nothing much. Just honestly, I woke up when you texted me.
That's why I texted you, Alex.
Yeah. I was awake earlier, but I don't know why my alarm didn't go off again. So I was like, oh, well, okay. Well, I'm glad you texted me, because I was like, oh, that was perfect. But
Always looking out for you, brother. Always looking out for you.
just ran and did all my things real quick, so now I'm all set. But yeah, and I don't know where AJ is.
Sleeping.
He was up a little late last night.
When isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know when he sleeps. It's not when I do. I know that.
Yep. Very true there. You know, I see that we got Terry in the house. We got Janice La here. Hey guys. Thanks for coming by.
Moderator to the stars and lovely Janice. Nice to see both of you.
But yeah, no, it's usually for these shows and stuff. We usually just talk and hang out and stuff.
I'm familiar with the concept.
Right. Random things and stuff. Random questions also.
I like random. Sure.
Right. So are you how are you doing during this pandemic and stuff like that? With music wise and stuff, doing whatever you can?
It's been a challenge the last, let's say, a year, basically, right? Because it was a year ago, we were prepping to go to NAMM, make some business contacts.
I know, right?
And then get home, get sick, recover, boom, lockdown. And it's been hard to get product into demo. It's been hard to get out into stores to demo products, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Brother James.
I did notice that. It took a little bit longer to, when I got my new guitar, though. It took it longer a little bit and stuff for them to send it on out than it usually would.
Very true, very true. I've been fortunate, you know, have a few companies send out some stuff in the past year, but there's not even like that girth of used gear on the market where I can pick stuff up on the cheap, demo it, and flip it.
Right.
It's not there.
Yeah, also just find it, like, at least working around the money and stuff like that. Finding the deal right now is hard.
Oh, exactly, yeah. There was some, I'd say, last spring into summer, but by July, it had pretty much dried up the market to the point where, like, I do my usual throw a bunch of stuff up on the market, and then I get a text from Richie, and he's like, do you realize you have 20% of the pedal market within 50 miles of us? Yeah. He's like, yeah, when you're scrolling through the Kijiji, and it's like you notice the same background on every other ad. He's like,
yeah.
At least you spaced them out. You didn't just blast them all at once. I'm like, no, I put up one a day for a week or two.
Oh, jeez. And stuff. See, we got JJ in the house.
Brother James.
House of Jams. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's enjoying like nice weather. I know. He still gets into the 70s during the day, whereas I'm just like, ooh, it's above freezing. Yay.
Just above freezing, yeah.
Literally, yeah, like a degree or two above freezing. You're like, that's fine. That means it's not freezing. It's melting.
Yeah, it's like 50 something here right now.
I'd take that.
I'm waiting for the snow and stuff like that. I want the snow to come back where I live, even though yeah. But compared to your snow, I mean,
and I get lucky even compared to like Terry. Hey, Andy Dion.
Okay, yeah.
What's up, brother?
Terry tells us about his and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, you when you realize certain months of the year you have to prepare to get up for work an hour earlier than normal just based on whether or not there might be a foot of snow in your driveway.
Well, yeah.
And you
That's
have
how.
to move it to get out of the driveway. Otherwise you're just spinning
Right.
your wheels.
Oh yeah, no, that's kind of like that's the same at least for me because our driveways, at least my driveway is a hill. So, we have to clear our driveway always to when we know it's going to snow, we have to put the cars right there at the very top of the hill and
Right.
stuff to block all the snow from there and stuff. But the very bottom of the driveway is not too bad. It's the very top of it.
It's when you get the snow drifts. My old place used to get that. Come home, and the snow plow has gone by, and you got a waist deep snowbank at the foot of your driveway.
Right? It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we haven't had a big snowstorm like that in years. Stuff like we used to get snowed in actually at my house and stuff. Used to have power cut off for weeks and stuff.
Ooh, terrible.
Now we haven't had that happen in years.
This is the scary time of year. I'll take a power outage in the summer and deal with the heat and possible food spoiling over
Uh-huh.
in the winter where you're either going to freeze and your pipes could burst, which can be very expensive, or for me, my sump pump's been going off for a month straight because of where the frost line is. It's just pushing all the moisture through the earth. And so I'd have a flood within an hour.
Okay. Yeah. That wouldn't be good.
No,
You don't
no.
want that.
No. That's the problem with your subterranean studio is you're at the mercy of your water table.
Right? Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Well, did you have a good New Year's and Christmas? Did you have the good holidays and stuff like that?
I
before
did.
the
I
end of the
did.
year?
Holidays, we did Christmas Day over at my sister's place, where they cooked up a big ass turkey dinner, which was awesome sauce, So me and the old man headed on over there. We gave the kids way too many gifts, which I can thank, the YouTube community for doing a bit of that. I had mentioned on the
Probably
live
worth
stream.
it though.
And yeah, and everyone's like, bing, bing, type thing. So we got them a few extra gifts. So they're happy about that. And then now we're on to, New Year's. That was nice and quiet, which is fine with me. And then now we're into remote learning. So when my sister, because the bank is considered essential service, my sister works at the bank. So when she's working, I become a parent. And I'm doing not only the parenting, but now teaching as well. Apparently, I'm not only considered a parent, but a teacher, according to the province of Ontario. Yay.
Yep. That's the same here as well. Yeah, we have remote learning and stuff in most of our schools. I think only one of our schools here in my county. They're not. They're doing this weird on-off separate. Like they have the kids separate, going half the day. Like, yeah.
It's not bad. The 6-year-old, that's pretty good because you're pretty much looking at Sesame Street level stuff. So that's fun.
Not too bad.
I can get into that. We can play it up. We'll make learning fun. The 12-year-old, most stuff is fine. It's just more, I used to know that.
You don't also have Common Core math.
No, I don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's like a new math apparently or something.
Yeah, that's that stupid math that wants critical thinking. It's like, I don't know. It's something that they started doing after I graduated and stuff, but I remember like the little bits of it and stuff. And yeah, it's just like the stupid critical thinking. Instead of just being like, all right, 8 plus 5 equals 13. It's like, all right, you divide 8 by 4 and you divide 5 by 3 and 2. And I was just like, hold up, just add 8 and 5.
Yeah. Like keep it simple.
Yeah. So
hey, there's Brad Guitar Miller, who I hear likes Stratocasters. There's a rumor he likes Stratocasters.
You like Stratocasters? Only Strats?
Well, he did get a new custom shop Strat, so I'm just saying. Yeah. Andy, I agree too. Yeah, people down south are like, pipes can freeze.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it depends on where you are in the south, though.
Yep. But how many people in the chat would carry a propane torch, like a handheld propane torch in the trunk of their car so they can get into their car when it freezes? You blow that right on the keyhole. Back when you didn't have a fob, you actually had to unlock it with a key. but key won't go into frozen tumbler. So you'd hit her with the old propane torch.
That's smart, yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe not the city folk, but the country folk.
Yeah, I don't see too much of the city folk doing that, but
Yeah, they're trying to heat up their key with a Bic lighter. I'm like, no, use the Bic to fire up the propane torch, and then,
or at least have just one of those little mini torches, the little butane ones.
exactly. Yeah, they work
That's all you
great.
need.
Yep.
Well, Ben, where was your first time? Like, how'd you first get into guitar? What was your first guitar? I know you probably talked about it on your channel and stuff, but
Oh,
if you possibly still have it.
Well, I grew up around guitars, literally. I believe, like, I was born near the end of May of '74, and I was at my first music festival in June or July of that year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, and it's like, oh, look, the little baby with the ear defenders. There was no ear defenders back then.
Yeah.
I was just, in the stroller.
I think the only time I've ever actually wore ear defenders was at a monster truck thing, and that was only because, like, we were at the place and, like, one of the attendants, like, were walking by with the earmuffs. That was it.
Not my parents. No.
Yeah.
Music festivals, and by the age of 3, going to my first live auto racing event, which was drag racing, and my dad taking me right up to the wall where they're doing the burnout, because there's no safety back then, and the crowd could walk right up to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And there's cars 12 feet in front of me, just, bah, and I'm just like, this is cool.
Oh, yeah. I even remember when I was young, we went to this certain drag racing strip and stuff. And yeah, no, it was because it was a smaller one and stuff like that. We did about just the
like
same
it's
thing.
Hot Wheels, but it's real.
Exactly.
It's amazing, like nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But yeah, grew up around guitars. First guitar, well, there was, like, as a child, dragging around the yard, an old Framus, sure, either way. Before they were high-end luxury German precision made, they were cheap. They were low end. They were made in West Germany, which is interesting because now where they claim that they're out of now is actually technically East Germany, I believe. The former East Germany, like in the Bavarian region, I believe is actually former East Germany. So that we're not going to talk, it's like Faulty Towers. We're not mentioning the war. We did, and so I had one of those. I dragged around the yard as a child, and then got my first instrument. Like, when I say, hey, Dad, I want to learn how to play an instrument. He's like, really? So you're 14. You don't know anything. He's like, what do you want to learn? I'm like, bass. It's like, bass. He's like, that's smart. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, every bass player I know is in 3 or 4 bands at any given time. You're never going to be lacking for work as a bass player.
It's true.
All right. And so rather than normally you go down to the music store and get a bass, no, he called up one of his bass player buddies who's like, hey, you still playing bass? He's like, no, I'm not allowed to gig anymore. My old lady won't let me. Oh, you still got your bass? Yeah, it's under the bed.
Come on.
Yep, boom, gets the bass, which is still like new. And I think he sold the guy the bass when he got back into gigging a few years earlier. So pick that up. He contacts another buddy we bought an amp off of, and then boom, I got it was an Eldagus P-bass knockoff, natural with black pickguard or tortoise pickguard, possibly tortoise pickguard, I think. Natural with tortoise pickguard. Like, she was old school. She was perfect for the country scene,
Yeah.
She was looking sharp, and a big GBX. It was like the size of an Ampeg fridge, but all it had in it was one horn, and the horn faced the back of it. It was a reverse facing horn.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Canadian 70s, sure, why not? And I fooled around with that from like August of '88 until I decided New Year's Eve to make a nice, easy date to remember. I'm like, I don't want to play bass anymore. It's boring, dum by yourself, because I was playing along the AC/DC stuff, and I'm like, there's a lot of open. Like my left hand is really bored playing bass, and so
playing bass, I can see it. Yeah,
I told my dad, I'm like, I want to play guitar. He goes, fine, until you get your own guitar, play my stuff. So he hands me his Telecaster and the Silverface Vibrolux amp, the cleanest tone you will ever get. There is no gain stage, Alex. It's just a master volume on clean. So that's not cool to play along with AC/DC, but I persevered, and traded the bass and the bass amp for some pedals. Hey, and then we got a distortion and a chorus, and then I was rocking. Then, hey, I could be Alex Lifeson. Exactly.
Yeah,
When
I see
really
that we
it
got
was
RM and MC in the house now.
What's up, MC? Really mysterious.
Yep, they're some of our good friends from Garguts' show.
Nice,
So,
nice.
Also, just friends we've met over in Garguts' Discord. That is super. We will sit there and just talk all night. Like, these are the people. They're the reason why we don't sleep.
Nick YJ, hello, howdy. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're caught up. That's nice.
So you kind of started off on bass, and then moved to guitar.
Yeah.
I feel that one.
Yeah, because
yeah.
bass. Well, at that time we're talking like 1988.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunset Strip, lot of stuff played in the keys of E and A, and if you're in the key of A and you're playing bar rock, it's all open strings if you want.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Because it's just 1-4-5 blues, and that was I was like, no, this is and the amp was heavy. And I'm like, no, I just want a combo amp I could gig around with. And then I saw Marshall Stacks. I'm like, those are pretty cool too. Until I saw the price tag on one.
Right. Yeah. I'm still happy with my Boss Katana artist. I'm still okay with that. Still works for me. Though I do see certain things like people say like, I need a tube amp. I do want a tube amp. But or I might want to change these because everyone always talks about the speaker that's in this amp, saying it's just not the greatest.
Well, I wonder though, like, you can't just put like a Celestion in it because that's geared for a certain type of tone stack coming out of an amplifier. Whereas that needs more like a PA speaker, a full range speaker. That's what's designed for
certain things. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's in it, if it's got a single 12 in it, it's like, does Bose make a 12-inch speaker, for instance? Because that would sound like tits, probably.
Right.
That's why I'd be looking at Pro Audio as opposed to guitar.
Yeah.
The other building at NAMM.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bose builds a 12-inch speaker.
Well, something like that, or Clips, or somebody.
Oh yeah, and stuff. But I'm also just looking at getting a small tube head, stuff like that. Over time, just don't know how long that'll take. It's just this thing's perfect for like doing the live stream setup because I can go direct into a mixer, or direct,
I could see you getting like, end of the rainbow, like a PT-15, because then it has the IR out and stuff. So for the live streaming stuff like that, plus it's a 15-watt tube amp that you can plug into a 112 cab or even a 212 cab or even a 412.
I think that was the one I was looking at. I was looking at the PT-15, and I was also looking at the Tremonti 15, that Mark Tremonti little PRS amp and stuff. That was great too. Well, I have the extra stuff to plug in tube amps actually.
But that's a hassle, and that's more stuff that can go wrong. If you can do it direct.
I mean, yeah, but
listen to me talking about virtual and software and IRs. Like, what the hell happened there? Damn,
what's up with that,
2020 did a number on all of us.
Wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be my tube guy?
Yeah, all right. So you get a Shure SM57 or 58, doesn't matter. People will tell you they're different. They are the same mic. Put it in front of a tube amp. Turn it up to pants shakingly volume. Oh, an SM50. Okay. That's a 55.
Yeah, it's the 55. Oh.
Soundman's Nightmare.
This one?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, because you kind of do have to get up on them, and people have a tendency to want to caress them while singing, which is the worst that you can also do with them.
Yeah.
That's like, don't cover the mic.
Yeah, and this is one of the ones with the on-off switch, so they can't, like, if they grab it down here, they have the problem of turning it off.
No, they don't, because as a sound guy, I have that thing taped on.
Well, that's smart, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's like half a roll of duct tape around that, so it's like a baseball.
Yeah, I've only thought about letting one band use this microphone live and stuff, because it's a personal mic, so yeah. But luckily, I was actually able to go back to work a little bit on Saturday and stuff back at the music venue and stuff.
Nice.
We're thinking about starting to do live streams from the music venue and stuff, and I'm gonna bring in my computer and stuff. And
I think
so,
everybody, our local theater, they've been doing that.
yeah,
I
we've had
say
a couple
theater
places
because
here
it's,
too.
well, they do still show movies on occasion because it was a playhouse that became a movie theater, as so many do.
Right.
But then the guy bought it, and when he restored it, and he's like, "Screw it, we're having live music too," because he's in a Beatles tribute band, among other things.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it then all of a sudden turned into like this perfect 700-800 seat venue, which is perfect for your aging rockers that need a tour date between Toronto and Montreal.
Right.
So you pick up a nice select. A lot of older Canadian bands that tour through we get, which is awesome. And then we get the Steve Earls coming through here, stuff like that, which is great. And it's always off night, like a lot of Tuesday night shows. Which, I'm like, screw it. What else you got to do on Tuesday night? Go see Steve Earle? Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. The usual thing, like my venue did before everything closed down, we had shows almost every night. It was like, it was like 4 times a week and stuff. And then always on the weekends and stuff.
That's how you pay the rent?
Yeah, they do Friday, Saturdays, I think Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But they also would do like open mic nights, comedy nights, and stuff like that. So it's a thing of like this was like one of the first times us sound engineers, like the lead sound engineer and me, were able to actually like go talk to our lead guy again.
Right.
Stuff like we haven't been in the venue in a while. We found out a bunch of problems that happened with our stage, but hey, that's what happens when you're gone for fucking however many months.
You can't just leave buildings unattended. Like, stuff happens.
Yeah, the building hasn't been unattended. It was just the sound equipment just hasn't been used in almost a year. Like, and when it has and stuff, it's been for DJs, and those DJs blew out one of our speakers again.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so
lovely.
We've been talking about like how do we like put like how can we get a lock limiter for it and stuff like that, like do all of that. But then we were also talking about like, oh, maybe we can do live streams here and stuff for the community on their Facebook page where they have like 4,000 likes and stuff like that. Like, they're just like, wait, we have an actual following in our town here.
And I would imagine that type of venue like ours, you have like season ticket holders.
We're this is more of a bar venue.
Okay.
So very smaller and stuff.
Because like that one being like that was the weird thing, because you're like, wow, you're at a rock show like April Wine. You're like, wow, that, like, even for an older band, the crowd seems a little tame. Like there's a lot of older couples, but it's because traditionally, year after year, because they also do things like plays and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah.
You buy a season ticket, like pro sports season tickets. So you get tickets to everything, and then it's like if the rock band comes to town, they pawn off the tickets on their younger relatives or friends or what have you.
Exactly, yeah.
It's really cool. You get that. Very much that family vibe, like the tickets stay in family generation to generation too.
Yeah,
and
that was
when half your venue is always sold out.
Yeah, that was the old venue I used to work in down in San Francisco, just as an usher and stuff like that.
Oh dear Lord,
corn dog, what up, Dougie?
I see. Really mysterious asks if I remember Chilliwack. Well, had I known in advance, I would show. I actually have one of Bill Henderson, songwriter, frontman, guitar player for Chilliwack. I have one of his picks, and I have a set of drumsticks from the band that are signed by the band as well. After I met them after they played in Peterborough a few years ago.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna start doing that live stream and stuff, and get done with the like we did it once and stuff like that now, but we were using basically the band that came in, like they had their live streaming stuff.
Sure.
And they didn't bring all the right stuff, so it maybe wasn't as best as it could. Where I was telling my live engineer, like my lead guy, who's one of my really good friends now, I was like, hey, let me bring in my computer and my mixer and stuff. Unless I'm asking because it's also, we're using, at my work, we're using the Midas M32R. Like, we're using a $4,000 console and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure somewhere there's a cord that plugs into the computer.
Yeah, like all you need is a stereo out of some
Yeah.
kind.
But it's well, no, there should be a USB plug to make a USB interface and stuff
Right.
somewhere on the it should be it should be a Thunderbolt on the mixer and then it should go to USB. The thing is it might go to Thunderbolt, it might go to some other proprietary thing where my computer won't like it and stuff. Where I'm
Well,
just like,
there's
hey,
that. That's where the silicon chips and the space age polymers come in, and I don't like that. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, where I'm just like, hey, I can bring in my little mixer. It's not that big. It's 8-channel mixer and stuff. It's enough to fit. I can fit it in my backpack and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I can throw it in there and stuff, and just I take the stereo from. Well, I would have to take. We found this out. We have to take a one of the aux sends and stuff. We have to take 2 of the aux sends because we have the live feed sending into the live sound and stuff. So we take the aux sends and stuff, but we found out we have to resend everything to the aux sends because we don't have it set up originally for that.
Of course.
That's the problem with digital mixers. It's stupid routing.
Yep.
So, yeah. But we figured it out. So it's super simple. Just I take a stereo send to my thing, and then you would hear such a really clear thing and stuff coming out of my stuff, and we could have a live stream going on their Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that, and be really fun for them. And then local bands will be able to play again. Really.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because we're known as the actual place that has an actual stage.
Right.
So
nice.
we have stage lighting and everything. So
to touch on Corn Doug's question, he remembers. Yes, I did co-DJ with Doug at his father's, I believe, 50th birthday party. I've DJ'd a high school dance. Did some other DJing events, and the last time I did it was short notice. I DJ'd a company Christmas party, and I will never, ever do that again. When you have some drunk Karen come up, play Chattahoochee, and you're like, I just played it like 10 minutes ago, Karen. Like, calm down. All I kept thinking is, you can't pay me enough for this. And it was a good paying gig, but no. It wasn't worth, I don't know, 150, 200 an hour. It wasn't worth it.
Whew. Really? Wasn't worth it. I mean, 150 to $200 an hour. I mean.
Oh, dude. No, because it was just one drunken, privileged person after another. And if you didn't already have the song that they asked for, because I was just handed a library of like 5,000 songs, why don't you have it? Because I've never heard of the artist you're referring to. And they're like, can you call yourself a DJ? No. Nice.
Sorry, my friend texted me this just a second ago, and I was like, can I tell him this? And then she posted it to the chat, so.
Nice. Well, thank you, I think. Sub Zach Thong.
Hey, Zach. So when was the last couple of years that, for the last couple of years, I know that you were, you've toured before and stuff.
One-off gigs up and down the highway. Not really touring per se.
No, you've never done like an actual tour. Well, you can see the actual future of touring though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like we were looking into touring. Like we were right at that precipice where we had recorded an EP. We were going to do some touring to support it, try to get some label interest, play the game.
Right.
But because I was the only single guy in the band. Well, no, the drummer was single too, but some of the band members have families, so they still have day jobs. So it was literally work all day, gig all night, work all day again the next day, gig again that night. Like how those guys did, I don't know. I know how I did it, and I didn't have a day job at the time, and performance enhancing beverages and substances helped. So
no, I remember doing it from 18 to 21 before I actually drank and stuff like that.
Oh, I was doing it at 40.
I did. Right. Well, yeah. But I'm saying for the younger guys, from 18 to 21, I don't know what it was and stuff because I was sitting there working multiple jobs per day, and then I just go home and play all night.
I spent there's a couple years of my life where I looked like Lemmy. So
yeah, but now I'm just like, no, I'm gonna.
Exactly.
If I have one job, I'm going to work that one job, and I might do something for a couple hours at night, and then I'm going to bed.
Yeah, like the last band, it got to the point where, well, the gig's $100 under our usual pay for the night, but and they're like, but the gig ends at 11 p.m. Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah,
You mean I can be home by 12:30?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
That's worth a 20, 30 less bucks at the end of the night in your pocket.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's better. See, that's the thing about me. I'm actually a person that's not like well versed in those type of live shows and stuff. I'm well versed in playing in front of people and stuff like that. I've done college halftime shows and
Sure.
many school events and stuff. But when it came to, I've only played like one actual show with a band that was outside of school.
It's one that, playing, well, like the indie shows that we would all go to as teenagers and stuff. And playing those same shows again 20 years later, because it was literally teenagers and middle-aged guys. Because the in-betweeners, you had young kids and you had to set up life. But once the kids reach a certain age, dads can be in dad bands, and dad bands are just as heavy as the kid bands. And the kids like playing with the older guys because, they're, hey, you ever heard of this band? Heard of them? We opened for them,
Right. No, yeah.
And which is always fun. But you know what you're getting into in many ways. And it's like, oh, we're headlining. Oh, yay. It's like, what? I'm like, we're going to be playing for 2 other bands and the bar staff because nobody's still going to be there at 1:30 in the morning when we get on stage.
Yeah.
How do you know? It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. We're at a bar.
These people have a life.
Like that's the other thing. It's like if you want to have a good act, if those local bar gigs and stuff like that, it's the middle act that's the best.
I always, how many bands playing? 5. Please guess the third slot.
Okay, it's second or third, please. Like second if we can't do it, third if it's best.
Especially second in the winter, third in the summer. Third in the summer, that's their peak crowd. Second because we can get in, do our deal, get out, get back on the highway. And then it's one of those, well, you guys stay till the end of the night to get paid. No, we're the out-of-town act. We need to drive 2 hours back home. We have jobs to get back to.
Would you get paid?
Oh, yeah.
Then? No, I gotta remember that because I remember when I did do my first gig, I did not get paid until a week later. But that was because I was young, so I was before I was 18 or. Yeah, no, it was before I was 18. I was 17, so we played at a place, and then I had it was the last band was going on past midnight and stuff, and I was like, hey, I got school. It was like I said, it was a Tuesday it was tonight. Stuff. I'm like, hey, I gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning. I got jazz band in the morning.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, well, we can't pay you till the end of the night and stuff. And that's more of that had to do with just the person that was running that bar.
Well, that's because they're paying the bands a percentage of the door, and they're waiting for every last person to come in. But it's like,
the problem was that I'm the only person that brought in 50 people. And stuff like that, and then as soon as I played, every single person left. It was left to be me and 4 other people just stayed.
Yeah, you might as well pay me now because I'm good for the extra $10, buddy. You can keep it. Give it to the other bands.
Yeah.
Although sometimes even on out of town stuff, if we have more than one vehicle, some of us may hang back and catch the rest of the show.
That's what I was trying to do. I told I had my ride and stuff, my special friend at the time and stuff. She was with me at the time, and so I told my friend that actually drove our van with all the equipment and stuff from my house. I said, hey, take that back to my house where your car is. Just take the van, drop it off there. I'll unload the equipment later tonight and stuff, and just head home and stuff because all of the rest of the band wanted to go home. So I was like, hey, you guys go while I'll stay here with me and my friends because we want to actually enjoy the music. We were here we were gonna stay for a while. And we stayed through most of the bands except for the headliner and stuff.
All I can say is when booking gigs, use a contract whenever possible, even the most basic of contracts. And as a result, most time, if I booked the show, we got paid when we showed up. We got paid at load-in.
Okay.
It's just, they're like percentage of the door. I'm like, no, I need at least a guarantee in percentage or something. And the guarantee was always paid right away because that way we knew our gas money was covered.
Right. Well, yeah,
because Chris much past the gas money.
Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going out of town, I see that definitely.
Yeah. You say, where do you set? Where are we setting up our merch table? Oh, you have a merch table? Yeah.
Right.
You ain't paying us. You know.
See, yeah, I've never noticed that. A lot of bands that come to my place, they don't really set up a merch stuff.
Got to do it. Oh, as much as I hated sitting behind a merch table, for it, everybody takes a shift.
Dude, I straight up will, because of my merch stuff, since it's on Teespring and I have an iPad, I could sit there and just have like someone
Perfect.
man an iPad and just be like, hey, here's a merch store. Here you
go.
go.
We were still at the point where we were doing all of our own shirts, hats, stickers, CDs. What else? We did women's underwear.
Yeah.
Those sold out immediately. Always sold out.
Why not? That's the thing.
Every boyfriend thinks it's a great
shorts,
for every for every
booty
one you
shorts
actually
and
sell
thongs,
to a woman. There's 10 that boyfriends think their girlfriends will love it. They don't.
Well, it's not.
Because I can tell you how many returning playing at venues, nobody's like, hey, check it out, I'm wearing your merch. No, they're not doing that.
Well, no, but that's more of a thing for the man when he's in the bedroom. That's for his own thing, His
I'm not
lady
saying it never
knows
happened.
that. His lady knows what the man likes, so. But it'd be a little weird. It'd be like, oh yeah, hey, it's my favorite band. Like,
you'd be surprised. You'd be
you ain't wrong
surprised.
there. Well, I mean, one of my questions is, what gear are you rocking? But I mean, just look behind you.
The hodgepodge of stuff. Depends on the project, right? You got to have the right tool for the right project. So, if I'm playing classic rock, rockabilly into country stuff, I'm going to take out, as much tweed looking stuff as possible. So the tweed amp, a Telecaster, or, whatever low to medium gain pedals on a pedal board. If I'm playing heavier stuff, we'll take out the half stack, even though, Jesus.
There it is.
I'm new at this. Even though it's solid state, but for metal, a buddy of mine, he was strictly solid state. And his deal was, he's like, this is the way it is. Solid state, it's like a fist. It just punches you right in the face. Tubes, it's like a palm being mashed in your face. It's not as aggressive.
Never thought of it like that. If anything, I would see it like going the other way.
Have I ever done sound checks for
depends.
big bands? Let's see. If you're familiar with the Canadian punk band SNFU, they're a legendary punk band in Canada. Rest in peace, Chai Pig. I did sound for them because the sound guy didn't show up at the venue. I happened to be there, so they asked me to do the sound. Sound for bands. No, actually, the highest profile sound I ever did was for the Prime Minister of Canada when I did sound on the military base.
Hey, that's still some. I think that's something there, though.
That happened, and I didn't like the guy. I did EQ him a little. I gave him a little mids for the nasally and took out some lows.
How
not
rude.
Noticeably, but enough for an audiophile to go, wow, he sounds extra nasally.
Enough for someone like you to be like,
And I'm just sitting there at the soundboard, just dying because I got the feed going out of my soundboard into all 4 news agencies for Canada because they're all there, covering the press conference or what have you.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep. Came home from work. The old man's like, so the Prime Minister was at the base doing a conference day. I'm like, yep. I'm like, what'd you think of the sound? He goes, were you doing the sound? Yeah. He goes, it didn't sound. I'm like, did it sound nasally? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, good. My job is done. He's like, you did that on purpose. Yeah. Cold Creek County. No, I never did sound for them, Doug. Thankfully, they're like a new country band, and not.
What do you mean by like the newer like 2010s, 2000s country?
Yeah, like I've played with a couple of decent bands, alongside same bill and venue, so I've had good sound. No doubt,
Plains,
no
cool.
doubt, Zach. Yeah, for those who don't
Guess he
know,
lives by the airport.
I moved one town east last year, and Zach moved to my old town just recently.
Right.
Actually, I think Zach, where he's living, he's like within a mile of where I used to live.
Oh. Wow. Oh, wow, Zach. Well, small world that we all live through and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right, Doug. Yeah, that's that right. Because two of the guys in that band were in Blue Suit Jacket. That's right. And yeah, I did sound for them. They were just local bar band teenagers.
Isn't that always fun when you do stuff for sound for those type of guys?
No, they had a momager.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now, by a momager, was it just one of the members or an actual momager?
No, she was a momager. Yeah,
Oh.
two of her two sons were in the band. It was a 4-piece. First, it was a trio, and then it was a 4-piece. It was two brothers and another local guy, and then they had some guitar player from Peterborough who played a Hagstrom. I remember that much. Forgettable band, but the one guitar player played a Hagstrom, and that was cool.
Mm-hmm. What made her so bad?
She kept telling me how to mix the sound, and I just looked at her. I said, "Lady," and she had agreed. I had agreed to do a series of shows around the area, like a mini tour. And after the first night, we agreed to part ways, and that feeling was very mutual. Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Okay, yeah, yep. No, I've definitely been there before.
Yeah.
We have.
It sounded good, but you didn't take direction well. It was like, I didn't realize it was working for you. I'm working for the band.
Right? That's the thing. Like, I do get, like, a certain aspect of being, like, a live sound engineer. Like, certain things of, like, yes, you are working for the band as a live sound engineer, but you are also working for the live sound of everyone, not just one person. And
yeah,
so
like people that like
problem.
singers want the singer cranked over top of the band.
Yeah.
Whereas guitar players always want more guitar in the mix, or what have you. But no, I just mix it so it sounds as cool to a cool 70s album as possible.
Mm-hmm. See, I right, that's also just like a good, like, that's also like another good way to do it. It's always like mix your stuff to how you think and how you guys remember live sounding, mixing, always sounding best to you and stuff. But if you always can't remember it, always remember a pyramid, the pyramid of sound. That's all you need to remember and stuff. People know what the pyramid of sound is and stuff. You got your bass at the bottom, your trebles at the top and stuff. Make sure your trebles are the quietest and your basses are the highest. Now, that doesn't mean blast your basses. That means level everything out, but make everything a good pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah, I always bring in the bass just enough that all of a sudden it makes the guitar player sound like they have better tone.
Exactly. But still noticeable for themselves, like if they.
Like they're not there, but they're right there.
No, yeah,
they're right literally they're cupping the balls of the guitar player.
Yeah. And then that's also got to do, especially if the bass rig's got a good rig and stuff like that, you won't have a problem. But if they got some really not so great rig and stuff, like, just ask them for a DI out. Like, at that point, just be like,
Yeah, usually, I try, get the bass player more or less the same volume as the drummer. Guitar players are 2 decibels louder, type thing. Or optically 2 decibels louder, we should say, which is really the same volume or even less, but because it's more mid-range focus, it's tuned more to the ear, so it sounds like it's louder even though it's not.
Yeah, it's not loud.
Yeah, we're really nerding out here, folks.
Sorry.
And then you just throw the vocals right over the top, right down the middle and over the top.
Yeah. If you Ben, you're friends with me on Facebook. I shared what we did for the live sound at the venue and stuff. It was good for a guinea pig test.
Sure.
But I was working lives. I was working the lights that night mainly though. That was fun though.
It's funny, most times I'd set the levels, and the only thing you ever adjust during a show is the vocals. So I'd set the levels, bands a verse and a chorus into their first song, and I just grab, my girlfriend or a buddy. I'm just like, if the vocals start to give out, juice this one fader up a bit, and if they start to feed back, goose it down a bit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like goose it down 3 notches, then move it back up 2. You know,
Mhm.
because if you do it just down a bit, it's going to keep feedback. But cut it and then bring it back up just underneath. He's like,
Right.
that's all there is, isn't it? I'm like, that's all there is. He goes, and you goose it up 1 notch. I'm like, when their voice starts to give out.
Right. Yeah. The only
Oh,
thing
okay. He's like, what are you going to be doing? I'm like, I'm going to be outside partaking in certain lifestyle choices. And
hang on, I'll be right back. Like, give me a
if I hear some feedback, I'll come in.
right. Like, I'm gonna be standing here for like 4 hours. What else do I gotta do? Stuff. Let me go take like a 5-minute breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the only thing we have to worry about usually is we like to do delay and reverb and stuff, so we'll do that consciously.
Never.
On
I shouldn't say never. Rarely. Touch a reverb on outdoor events. Indoor, I always just like doing a slap back. If I can get the mains to slap back off the back wall of the venue, there's your reverb. I just use the room as a reverb.
Right.
And it was funny because I did sound for about, let's say, 2 years, and I didn't even have effects on the board. Like, it was a dry board. Right. And Buddy'd be like, I need reverb on my vocals. I'm like, sure. And he's like, can you give me a bit more? I'm like, I'm not adjusting anything. I'm pretending. Right? He's like, oh, yeah, cool. Sounds great. Yeah, because we're playing in a big-ass pool hall that echoes. What you're hearing, that's natural room reverb, buddy.
Right, yeah, no, that's the thing. My venue, the space where our stage is, like, the bar and stuff like that's like an L shape and stuff. So the side of the bar goes down this little bit skinnier corridor and stuff, and then there opens up to a main stage and stuff. So we have to worry about what happens going down that corridor and stuff, because it's just a little bit of an echo chamber for the rest of the bar.
Yeah, for that you would almost have to run a wet dry setup and have more of a dry sound getting forced down that corridor, whereas you can put some reverbs and delays on just the one side.
Oh yeah, but we don't do that. That's not like
no, because that's not fun, Alex. That's not fun at all.
No, it's not.
Because you set that up in the empty room, and then the room fills in, and it doesn't sound right anymore.
No, but I'm gonna tell you, like, well, I'm gonna tell you, we're not that big. Like, it's not that big of a place. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, but you treat it like it is, right?
Well, that's what we do. Like, that's honestly, that's what we do because of the system we have. The problem is the system we have is probably a system you should have in like an actual venue, like a larger venue, like I usually go to, that's in a larger big room.
And it's hard to not overkill a sound too, because you don't want to.
Yeah.
No,
the nice
decibels can be your friend and your enemy.
Well, that's the problem that we've had with like certain sound guys and DJs coming in and stuff, and that's why they've constantly asked me to come back, and then our lead sound engineer who hired me and stuff like that and stuff. They just saw something in me and stuff, and I guess it was I know what the fuck I'm doing. I went to school for it, I swear. I mean,
yeah, I always got that too. It was funny because people be like, "Where'd you learn how to do sound?" I'm like, I listen to albums and smoke weed. Self-taught. Sorry, I'm like, I just mix it till it sounds good.
Here's the thing. Even though I went to school for it, I only went to community college. And the thing about my teacher was, she was like, "All right, when it comes to live sound, we ain't going into books. Fuck your book." And stuff like that. There's a book for the college. Hell no. I have this mixer right here. We're sitting down every day and we're on it, because she was a 30-year plus live sound engineer, and she used to do live sound for the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, nice.
So it was like she's actually like done shit and stuff. She didn't like it was more of the band. She was the engineer for the opening band for Smashing Pumpkins. But their engineer got too fucked up on certain nights.
Right.
So she stepped in because they saw how good she was. So, yeah.
I get that, because I've been on the receiving and giving end of doing that on sound engineering.
Oh, yeah.
Always the good bands. Oh, you're our sound engineer? Here, we got a package for you.
Right.
Oh, sweet. Thanks. Yeah, you're going to have great sound tonight.
Now, Ben, what do you consider a bad sound engineer?
One that insists on their mix. And I've had that happen where, let's say, you're a big fan of mid scoops and your band is all about the mids. That doesn't work. It's one thing to have somebody say there, like, usually you have somebody involved with the band where you're like, hey, is this how we're sounding out front? Do we sound on stage how we sound out front? And they're like, mid scoop? Right. Yeah, we don't play like that. I'm like, I would say, have you heard our music before? Because that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and I don't know. I've never had that issue. That sounds that sounds weird. Like
it happens.
Wanting to have the band mid scooped. What?
Well, or whatever, like whatever their idea in their head of what a band mix is, right? Like it's you hear it more in country and hip hop. Like I swear there's only 4 producers for each genre because everything sounds like 4 different songs. That's right, Terry.
I guess Fireball whiskey. A red solo cup.
But yeah, my favorite sound engineer is the one that says, what do you need?
Right.
Simple as that. What do you need? I need this, this, and this. Okay. Yeah. And then they say, how does that sound?
Exactly.
What do you need?
Exactly. Yeah, I've been wanting. We have an iPad that we can actually like digital mix and stuff from, but I don't.
Right.
I don't want to use it because I don't. It's the thing of when you're on that touchpad and stuff like that. The faders are more sensitive and stuff. You might not know that you're going so high that you're actually going on the board.
Right.
So makes it feel weird and stuff like that. But I've noticed it's a great teaching tool because I have a friend who's in a wheelchair and stuff, so he can't see the board that we have because of the rack that's on and stuff.
What's up, brother Jamal?
Jamal, what's going on, dude?
He's working that overtime to get that Les Paul paid off.
There you go. Ooh, I see. I see you.
I know what's up.
Yeah. But I say like that is a great teaching tool. Blackjack Guitar Nut, what's going on?
What's up, Blackjack Guitar Nut?
Yeah, it's a cool teaching tool because then everything's right there and stuff at your fingertips. Now, have you ever taught anything before? Any type of guitar or any?
Yeah. I taught guitar in the early '90s a bit, and I did a bit a couple years ago.
Fruitcake Tony.
That's right. Yeah, we got the going to town hat on tonight. Thanks again, Fruitcake Tony. I was teaching some guitar. Actually, my last student was the last singer of my last band. She was going to start doing some of her own stuff, and it was as much with her. I showed her a few things, but it was as much picking my brain as anything else.
Right.
So, like I would call it almost music consulting as much as, I guess like music theory, but it's like the business of music, much like what we've discussed tonight.
Right.
I think that's just from playing in bands, doing sound production prior to that. So you see a different side of that, having organized promoted shows. So done that. Watch my dad playing in music, my dad working for the musicians union and handling that side of things. So it's like, when you grow up around it, you can just pay half-ass attention.
Right.
It's like I understood how an indie show worked at a very young age because my dad would do fundraisers for the musicians union. And so you had a bunch of bands playing, and here I am 10, 11 years old, and I'm working behind the snack bar.
Okay.
He was like, okay, sure, whatever you need.
So you always grew up in the music scene, stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, Dad started trying to put a band together not long after we moved down to this area in the late 70s, through a couple failed projects. And then he finally joined a band around 83 or 84. And he was with them for like 3 or 4 years. And they played, conservatively 110, 120 nights a year.
Oh, okay.
Because at that time, when you were booked into a bar, like it's got to the point now where you're booked for a night in a bar.
Right.
Let alone some places it's only a set. But usually, let's say, for bar rock or whatever, he did country, same idea, bar country.
Yep.
But at that time, you were booked usually 3 nights. And it was either a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or a Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee, or a Friday, Saturday matinee, and Saturday night.
Yeah.
Or right before that, you're booked like a Tuesday through Sunday. These places, they go dark one night a week, Mondays, but you were there for 5 nights after that. And the idea is you play Tuesday, Wednesday, used it more or less like a rehearsal. You have 10, 20 people in the bar, but then word spreads. So then by Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, the place is packed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right.
That's back when we used to have this thing called disposable income, because you and I, we could finish high school or not and get a job that paid us way too much money for the amount of work we did. Whether it be a union job or, just the cost of living was so much lower compared to,
Now, yes. Oh, yeah.
what it cost to go out and do stuff. And so people, you could afford to go out and drink a couple nights a week, and that's cool. But
yeah, no, I can.
We just don't have that anymore.
I was going to the bar, I maybe would go out maybe once a week and stuff. But I was only.
Well, it was just more social aspect to it, right? Like you went out to meet up with your friends, and and I'm not even thinking not even as much your generation, let alone my generation, but even more my parents' generation through the early to mid '80s. That was still a carryover. Mm-hmm. It's like you're looking like England. There's a pub on every corner for a reason.
Right. Exactly, and that's. Honestly, this is what I never got towards my friends once we finally turned 21, because I am such a young guy and stuff. We finally turned 21 and stuff like that, and then I only had certain one of my friends that would ever want to go, just go out to the bar and just see what even it was like and stuff like that.
Exactly. But society has changed, it changed from go out and have a good time to don't drink and drive, which again, fine, to drink responsibly. That was the next thing. To now, if you're going to drink, don't drive.
Well, I mean,
you're telling me I can't have a beer and wings with my buddies? Well, I have to take a cab or Uber. One beer. Come on. Yeah. But I get it. It's one of those things. One person abuses it, and then we all pay the price. So. And thank you, Jamal. Yes, I was seen as Mr. Pessimistic in a few different bands over the years because of people wanting to do dumb things. And I will say, I do appreciate that Fruitcake Tony used the proper Canadian spelling for leader R-E instead of E-R. Always throws me off when I see it L-I-T-E-R.
Pretty sure I spell it R-E too, usually.
Sweet, we've infiltrated the Americans. We're taking over one brand at a time.
Pretty sure I spell it R-E too. Yeah, but hey, Fruitcake Tony, hey man, I buy my own. It is my family's. That's the thing. If he's drinking out of the family's 2-liter, that's messed up. But
yeah, you can't do that.
I buy my own.
Yeah,
stays in my room.
Exclusive. It's okay. But yeah, it has helped, Jamal, and it's helped even with YouTube's the same thing, because anybody that's tried to hustle, Fruitcake Tony and I were talking about it off air the other night. Anybody that's tried to hustle their own band, starting a YouTube channel is the exact same thing.
What do you mean, hustle your own band?
Well, you start a band, you get some songs together, you want to start hustling up some gigs,
right?
And some people, they just want to hustle some gigs and just play for the fun of it. That's fine. But and part of that is my upbringing, but was always well, you don't play for free. You make, not that you're going to make a career or a living at it right off the bat, but at least you play for gas money. Hopefully you get a bit of a following, then maybe go in, make an album, support it locally, making more money, and just snowball it. And YouTube's the same way. You put out, you start a channel, you start putting out videos. It's only your friends and family that support it. That's fine. That's like your friends and family at home supporting the band. Next thing you know, you get a bit of a following, a bit of a crew, and you just keep growing it. Working with companies, I guess it would be
sorry about that.
If you do demos, that's the equivalent of an endorsement deal. If you're in a band, I would say, because it's in a working arrangement agreement.
Right.
I don't know what you would equate, necessarily doing an album or something like that. Mm-hmm. But touring an album is sort of like doing a weekly show in many ways.
True. It is, or if you like, especially if you have like something like a multiple week show too
Yes.
and stuff, something that's a little bit different, or even if it's the same thing. I remember doing that multiple, and you do it multiple times a week and stuff like that. You do it like 3 times a week, don't you?
Yeah, 3. 2 on the music channel, 1 on the NASCAR channel.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, tonight is night 3 of 4 in a row for me.
Well, yeah, but I'm blowing my nose with it.
You might as well just use a Benjamin Franklin, right?
I guess so. Right now, with how toilet paper is, I guess I don't know. I'm out of. I stay out of the news. I stay out of the politics and stuff like that. That's
If it's there, I buy it because I figure it's, I'm one of these people, like when I grocery shop, I'll buy 2 or 3 of an item that I know it's like mayonnaise. Nobody's dying anytime soon. So, I might as well pick, if I see it on sale, I'll pick up a few jars of it type thing.
Almost. That's the
And
thing.
it's the same with toilet paper. If I see big bundles, because sometimes it's not there. If I do see it there, I'll pick it up. And my dad's like, we have a closet full, right? I'm like, no. Man, I really gotta stop going to the supermarket while high.
Really gotta stop going to the
supermarket. I just buy the same 10 things every time. Yeah, you have a list of 30 items, but you only buy the same 10 every time.
Oh my gosh. Really? Because every time I go to the supermarket and stuff, I have a list of something that I'm buying because I'm usually making some sort of meal and stuff. And yeah.
I'm the type where I look at it like, especially these days, because it's such a hassle. Like there could be a lineup to get in, and the way we do it is everything's one-way streets. You got to go up one aisle, down the next, social distance. I don't like grocery shopping to begin with. So I try to I'm going into town for the month. I'm like a pioneer type thing. Like that's the way I see it. Like the less time I can spend in there as possible. So I'll try loading up bulk items. Love bulk items. You would think I'm shopping for a family of 6. Nope, there's 2 of us.
No, so it's a thing of just now, since I'm back with my family, I'm not doing that type of grocery shopping. So it's more of like, if I'm going grocery shopping, I'm making a meal for my family.
Right.
Stuff. Though, when I was on my own, there was certain items like that, though. As a college student, I always needed 20 fucking pizzas. And...
Well, yeah, like a frozen pizza Canadian, let's say they're normally $6, $7.
Yep.
Sometimes they're on sale for $4.50. Exactly. Guess what? I'm buying a 6-pack of pizzas.
Or you buy 4 for $10.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit smaller ones, but you get 4 for $10. Stock up on 8 and stuff like that. $20 right there. And then I would always buy multiple cases of soda. That's my other problem. Soda.
I hear you.
Yeah.
We go through a case a week here, easy, and then most of it's my old man. I might have a can with dinner on occasion, depending on what I'm going to have. If I cook with extra spices, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a can of Coca-Cola with this one.
Yeah. I'm young, you know me. So I go through like 2 to 3 cases per week.
Yeah. My old man would if I'd allow him. Because that's the thing with our family, Coca-Cola solves all. Like, you got indigestion, Coca-Cola.
That is actually a thing of my grandpa and stuff. It was no matter what, his whole fridge was always stocked with Coke. Like, whole fridge. Like, there'd be a little bit of food in there, but there'd be 3, 4, 12 packs of Coca-Cola, 6 bottles of Coca-Cola in each drawer of the the door and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Fruitcake Tony. Yeah, you go to get milk, spend $100 and forget the milk. Which reminds me, I gotta go pick up some milk tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me. That's right.
There you go.
Let's go to the drugstore for that.
Oh man.
Nice. Let's see. Jamal says, do you think when this pandemic subsides, do you believe there will be a renaissance in venues hiring bands for local bars?
What do you
No, sadly. I think bars are going to try to...
Local bars? What do you mean by that?
I think... Well, I think, a renaissance in the fact, the bars are going to open. Are we going to see a resurgence of live music to try to bring people back? But I think bars are going to open as cheaply as possible. So it's going to be no entertainment. And then it's going to be DJs / karaoke / open mic, which is
I do
cheap.
have actually a contradictory to that.
All right.
Because I've seen a difference in my town.
Nice. Well, I hope I'm wrong.
They do a lot of.
I really hope I'm wrong.
The actual bars that are just bars, they have no grill, they have no food option whatsoever, and stuff.
Right.
Those ones, I have seen kind of doing what you're saying and stuff. Ones that do have a food option where they do have some tables, like not many, but they have a couple and stuff. Those ones I've seen and stuff, and where they're still able to do the outdoor and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
the type of place that could be a bar and grill or a coffee house or a cafe, which is kind of a coffee house, kind of a restaurant, somewhere in between, not sure. Yeah, but they seat like 30 people inside. They have enough room for maybe a trio to kind of in the corner.
Exactly.
Those, I think we're seeing more renaissance of that too, because I think hopefully we're going to see a resurgence of the mom and pop industry, which is going to be, I want to open this type of a business. So anything that, and hey, I want to have my, my favorite coffees, and I want to have poetry readings, or I want acoustic folk or on the weekend. So this year, that's the only gigging that's been around is like, if you owned an acoustic guitar and you had a PA system, woo, you're a single or a duo, woo, you could gig.
That's
playing
the other thing I'm doing.
Outdoor wineries.
Exactly. Right now, those are perfect for anything.
Yeah, and you're just a jukebox. Nobody's really there to see you, but they appreciate you being there.
Vans out there, you're a little fucked out of luck right now. You death metal vans.
Yeah.
No offense, but nobody wants you guys playing right now outside.
Which I don't understand, because I'm doing enough sound, I'm playing enough of the type of those shows. You never get more than 20 people anyway, so what the fuck? You know what I mean? All my gigs were socially distanced already.
All those 20 people are always getting rough in the pit, though. So they always touch in.
How many people are out there? 50, but 30 of them are the other bands. And they're friends and girlfriends or what have you. Oh, okay.
It's very true.
But I think you're going to see that, like, the resurgence of Main Street, is going to return. Everyone's going to have, I think, for tourism. I've seen all of our towns across Ontario over the last 10 years of all of a sudden, let's put up the quaint street lights on the main street.
See, that's the thing that's the thing about my town and the towns I live in, the little town that I work in also and stuff. They're basically the town I live in and stuff. It's connected to that town too and stuff. They're just called two different things and stuff.
Sure.
And it's a thing of, we have main streets. We have those large historic, like we're the old California gold mining towns,
right,
and stuff. So
exactly,
we're not allowed to destroy any of our old buildings and stuff.
Right, and what you see is what used to be a boarded up storefront. They paint a mural over the plywood to start with, so it looks nicer. A lot of that, which I dig, because it is optics.
Yep.
And then, people are gonna have hopefully some money, some kind, and because we're seeing a lot of people exodus to large cities too, right?
Yes,
it's insane. I think it's still a 4-week wait to get a U-Haul in LA, and it's been that way for a year. So people are moving back to these areas. So you get, let's say, musicians leaving LA, 1,000 musicians on a scale of in and around your Sean Hurwitz types, your Pete Thorne types. Somebody that can set up their studio in the back of a storefront on Main Street, have a cool little venue or a record store or music store or something like that, which takes up one of these storefronts downtown. Right. And next thing you know, let's put the venue in next door to the music store, and we'll have a cafe on the other side of it. That's kind of what the guy did locally here. Is we've got the theater, but then he's got a cafe next to the theater, and and you make an evening out of it. You eat in the restaurant, you go watch the show, then you go to the cafe after the show for the coffee. So, your concert starts at 7:30. It's done by 9:30, 10 o'clock. People have time to grab a coffee. Get out your, that's when you get your food trucks out. So, and stuff like that. Say, hey, there's a concert letting out here. Get the food trucks lined up.
Right.
It's not that hard to coordinate, folks. Hey, I'm promoting a show at this venue. Get down here.
Sorry, I kept getting ding, 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 ding. Someone was talking on a random server on Discord. So all of a sudden I was like, what is going on? But no, yeah, that's the thing. In my town and stuff, we have, at least at my venue, we have like a pizza joint, we have a coffee place, we have a sushi place, we have this kind of like American food and stuff.
Sure.
We have so many, but it's all like this little historical district. And
you
stuff
just
like
hope that they're, you want the restaurants competitive with each other but not hate each other. They want to welcome the live music venue, not be pissed about it,
Right.
stuff like that. If everybody works together, it's just brings everybody up.
Oh yeah, no, we've noticed that they really enjoy our venue and stuff, because I'm like, we don't have problems that happen at our venue either. And stuff.
Right.
We've noted like there's been a place that has it was like one of the newer breweries and stuff like that. But they had food, they had pool, they had a little bit of music and stuff. They had like all around things. So then they were in a very central part of both sides of town.
Beautiful.
So, but they started like going against, like, especially during the pandemic, they started going against like when we were able to open up again, because they're a brewery and not a bar, but they offer a full liquor. Like they have full liquor license, but they are a brewery and stuff. They're only supposed to be open until 11 p.m. and stuff, but they're open until 2 a.m. every night.
Ooh, yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. And then
over 1 year, they had over 80 police calls happen to that one place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I was just thinking too. You had me at like, you got your venue, you got a pizza place nearby. Because of COVID, a lot of restaurants, what used to be, they didn't want to be open, like let's say takeout pizza after a show, right? People want it, but they don't want to have that little takeout location open with 6 drunk people inside, blah, blah, blah. But now, because of COVID, a lot of them have pushed out the counter, so they have a window side service, like right on the sidewalk.
Right.
Then, it's almost like it's like a convenience store. It's secure location type thing. And then they're like, screw it. Let's fire out 200 slices of pizza after that show.
That makes sense to me and stuff like that.
See, we're thinking here. We're fixing things. We're solving all the world's problems. Hey, Sandra.
I think the little pizza place has this like little, like, because it's the thing of like, it used to be a one-way street and stuff. My venue was on and stuff. They just closed off the entire block right there and stuff to make it so all of the restaurants right there can have seating and stuff like that. They've done that in lots of parts of my town where it would be like a two-way.
Why not? If it doesn't totally, and if it's a one-way street, you're not missing a lot of traffic to begin with.
No, that one street I understood. There's some other streets in our other town and stuff. Like we literally have the thing called Main Street and stuff, which has never been closed down except for when it's our special events and stuff, which I think that's what makes it okay for like we got used to closing it down and stuff.
It's like, we lost, obviously some area, they allowed outdoor dining and stuff. So as a result, anybody that bitched and moaned, they said, well, guess what? There's also free parking downtown now.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did too. Yeah.
It's like perfect.
Yeah.
All right. JJ made it home. Yeah. Awesome, JJ.
Right on, made it home. And then we got Sandra in here too.
Yes.
Sandra. And then
I love those pedestrian walking areas. Like, it's just, you get like that more of that European vibe, and then people get out more and enjoy life. Like, don't go home, put something in a microwave, and stare at a screen all night.
Right? It's not fun.
Like, that's okay 5 nights a week, but get out a couple nights a week once we can, obviously.
Yeah. So
and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Go out and take a walk around these areas. Just enjoy the atmosphere.
Yeah, just go and talk with friends. That's all you have to do. You don't have to
Exactly.
go buy. You don't have to buy anything. Maybe buy a drink for like $3 or $4 or $5, but
Sure.
and that doesn't even have to be an alcoholic drink. Just go buy a drink from the store and just walk around with your drink, your water, your soda, your Gatorade. Do your thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ugh. Now, how do you think the pandemic's going to change within any part of the next year, or do you think it's going to be till 2022?
I want, ideally, I don't know who it is at what level. Let's go for the UN. We're going right to the top. The UN. They have a big meeting and they decide, all the world leaders just decide. Here's the deal. We're going to keep all the borders closed through 2021. Every country, get your shit together this year. Get your citizens vaccinated, cleansed, whatever you want to do, and then we'll just pretend that 2020 and 2021 didn't happen, essentially, and we'll just start rock and rolling in 2022, because that just gives us something to look forward to, a nice date way down the road, lots of time to get stuff under control, because a lot of people are saying it should be, large vaccinations done by September. So it's the government. Nothing gets done on time. So let's give them an extra 3 months, to get, in case there are delays or something, let's build in a little bubble space, and then we'll get her done. Like, we all survive. Like, we're going to miss out on this. Well, we didn't in 2020. Everyone's alive for the most part, and we survived Thanksgiving, we survived Christmas, we survived the 4th of July, Canada Day, Labor Day, whatever, We're still playing guitar and searching for tone, and
right. We're still doing our things and still like that's the other thing to me. Even though I like, the only thing that's been affected is like, I wanted to go back to my job. Fuck it, like, I want to go back to Live Sound. Yeah, but
I wanted to travel.
That didn't stop me, but I know that your travel was different. You wanted to travel here into the States, and that's
exactly.
And stuff.
Although I probably in all I wouldn't have ended up traveling last year because of my mom. So,
right.
But I could have, if I was able to fly out to places. I wouldn't have been able to do road trips though, and I really want to do road trips.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I've been looking at traveling and stuff because Garguts wants to get the whole like big streamer thing with his group going and stuff, but we also want to like get a thing going in a like separate place where a bunch of us can just get together and stuff. And at the moment, we're looking at New Orleans, or at least I am.
Nice.
Because I found a place right on the French Quarter, 2 blocks away from the Bourbon Street and stuff.
Ooh.
That has like 18 beds.
Nice.
And it's an Airbnb for like I think it was like $260 a night. But
do it.
18
Dude, you're young. Do it.
The thing, you separate that between enough people, that's totally fine.
Exactly.
So
and if you do it the right way, like I know you and I can do, you don't care that it's 18 beds in one place.
No,
because you're more going unconscious than sleep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'll just be like, this is my bed, right? Okay.
Exactly, Terry. Exactly. Man.
Look out, tripping with Ben in the future.
So want to do some road trips this year.
Oh, okay. That's not how I saw it. I saw another way of tripping with Ben.
Well, we could do both at once. Not safely, but we can arrive at a destination and then go to another destination from there.
Don't have to go anywhere.
Tony misses going to concerts and ball games. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's another big one. I've definitely missed sports games and stuff like that and stuff.
Tell me about it. I want to go to a NASCAR race. It's been a number of years.
You would think you'd be able, like, limited seating at certain places.
Yeah, but it's in your country and not mine. And it, technically, I could probably finagle my way across the border, saying figure out meeting up with a company for gear related. So technically, it's business travel, which you can do by air. It's just the land borders they get really hinky about.
Mhm.
But then I got a quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
And then when I returned, I got a quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a month on top of whatever I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Janice Lala says she misses open mics. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Janice, like I was saying, try to find if any of your venues are doing live streaming around you. Stuff at their venues.
Exactly. Open mics for networking. So true.
But so, Ben, what was the question? What a dream person to meet, spend 48 hours with in any aspect. So they can be from movies, music, life.
I assume living.
Okay. No, you don't have to assume living, but they can just dream person to spend 40 hours with. Dead,
Right.
alive.
I'll do one living, one dead.
Okay.
So living, Ronnie Wood.
Okay.
Dead, Burt Reynolds.
No. Okay. Now why?
Same reason. Two of the coolest cats to ever walk the face of this earth.
I was about to say
It's all about the hang. It's all about the hang.
Oh yeah, I could just see and hanging out with Burt Reynolds. Now that would be,
Especially if we're hanging out with Burt in the early '80s and Ronnie at least while he was still drinking. So
oh my god.
Let's say the same time frame, early '80s.
Okay, yeah, so when everyone's partying.
Yeah, because I don't want to hang out with the sober older rock stars. Like, sure, the stories are great, but hey, you might be involved in one of the stories if you're hanging out with them back then.
That's true. I mean, hopefully the story doesn't go bad though.
Only if you remember it. If you don't remember it, it went well.
That's always
No,
good.
not Elvis. Not an Elvis fan.
Really, not an Elvis fan.
No. Dad kind of warped that into my brain at an early age. He always said it wasn't for Carl Perkins having a car accident as soon as Blue Suede Shoes was released, then Elvis wouldn't have had the bigger hit with his version of it to be able to go out and play shows and support it. He still thinks Carl Perkins would have been the bigger star.
Okay. A little beef right there with between the Elvis stuff.
Well,
but it's the with.
Carl also played guitar and did actually write music. So I'm just saying.
I mean, well, think about all the pop stars that you have nowadays, though, too.
Dude, it's come full circle. It's 50s
Right?
bubblegum all over again. Flavor of the week. Sure. I thought that. I've been thinking that literally for 20 years. When I saw Britney Spears and that whole thing, I went, holy shit. Partying with Elvis would be awesome. Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah. Elvis was a party animal.
Oh, there's a few I'd like to party with. Willie Nelson.
Ooh, that would be another fun one. Yes. Or just even it would be fun to jam with Willie.
Oh, yeah. And jam. Like, let's just sit on the tour bus with a couple of flat tops.
Oh, yeah. Now, who's a dream person you would love to go on stage with?
Ooh.
Speaking of, there you are.
Hold on to your butts.
I'd go for a band, and probably I'd love to get on stage with the Stones.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Ben. Burt Reynolds would be the shit because I would want to be on his fighting side in a bar fight.
Right?
Ooh, that's
anything with Burt Reynolds, Nick Nolte, Gary Busey, Chuck Norris. I'd totally be on their side in a bar fight.
Right?
Patrick Swayze.
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse.
While Stevie Ray Vaughan's playing in the background.
Right.
Okay, Tony asked Ben, all-time favorite race car driver.
Ooh.
Who's the guy that drove into the fucking wall? That guy was pretty badass.
I'm gonna say.
The guy that got hit and then drove into the wall.
Yeah, and then his son took over. Yeah, and his son took over.
You're thinking of Dale Earnhardt?
Yeah, Dale
Our own,
Earnhardt.
yeah, that dude was a fucking beast.
I would say Bobby Allison, probably my
Yep,
favorite.
good one. Yeah,
Jesus.
that's a good one.
Great driver, and again, he did things his way.
Otto, man. Oh, yeah, this is Otto here. Oh, I forgot I married that chick.
Crystal, wake up!
Oh, this place has windows. Only I can afford it.
Wait,
Just
I had
put the
mustard?
Stones on my PA with my phone and join the band.
Oh, all right.
There's that sexy beast.
Forgot my camera wasn't on.
Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome.
I always
Finally.
forget. StreamYard
morning.
is like, StreamYards is like, I always forget how to work it now.
Oh,
Same
yeah,
here, and
just
I've been
put it
using
on
it a year and a half. Doesn't matter.
It's like turn on cam. Oh,
We've also
trash
been
in trash
using
can.
OBS lately.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, yeah, but OBS, I'm fucking doing like a gajillion things. At least with StreamYards, I'm like, we can like just click it and just chill.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
exactly.
much.
OBS,
Why
I
do you
feel
think
like
I
I'm.
say use this all the time?
That's well, I mean, I was using this and then went to Discord, and I was using this with Streamlabs too.
Nah, it just makes more sense with Discord to call-ins.
Yeah, it does. Call-ins instead of giving the stream the link out. But
Right.
anyways,
Welcome, Garguts.
yeah, man, fucking went late last night, and I didn't even fucking drink. I only had like what two little fucking drinks of
Yeah, you didn't
rum.
Yeah, you didn't drink a lot at all.
And I was like, okay, you were like, I'm gonna go to bed because we gotta get up in the interview. I was like, all right, me too. Like I literally
I was
left 5
confused.
minutes later, and
Oh, yeah.
All I know is Alex texted me about an hour before I woke up this morning, and when I saw that, and I did the math, and I went, "He's going to bed right now." So, because I'm like, why is Alex texting me at 8 in the morning? Oh wait, that's 5 in the morning for him. Yeah, that sounds about right.
he's going to bed.
Sometimes I am just like sometimes I do just wake up then and stuff. But I was.
Yeah, but you're not texting me.
If I
Good
remember,
morning,
if I-
sunshine.
What's up,
Hey,
Buttercup?
if I remember, I gotta do a show.
What you
I will.
wearing?
Yeah.
How do you think I booked all of these shows?
Oh, you're just sexting all night.
Usually, it's
He's
me
a smooth
drunk texting.
talker.
Yep.
Honestly,
like-
usually it's me drunk texting when I book all of these shows.
He's like, I'll show you my guitar and I'll give you moonshine.
Oh, that's, you got me.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael?
Now we know why the rum's always gone. Yeah, that is definitely me.
It
Not
happens.
tonight.
Rum.
Drinking whiskey tonight.
Rum. So what's for dinner? That's basically what I'm gonna have for dinner right now. I'm gonna fucking eat some soup and get some fucking beer. I didn't have no beer last night. I fucking suck.
I gotta get some more beer. I noticed the case is getting empty. That's not good.
What are you sipping on right now?
Labatt's Blue,
Of course.
of course.
The
Canadian
fucking
favorite.
Mm-hmm. What was that one Canadian beer that Bud Dry? Did y'all have up there? Was it Bud Dry? It was like an 80s
Molson
beer.
Dry, Labatt's Dry. They did all the dries, like the ices. There was
Yeah.
the ices and the dries.
I remember like seeing like commercials, like when they started hitting when like YouTube started getting like all fucking like all these retro commercials in. That's the only commercial I would always see in Canada. I was like, so many fucking beer y'all had or what? It seemed like it.
Basically, 2 breweries.
Well, I mean, now y'all got like, a shitload of beer. I mean, y'all don't got y'all got the normal beers too, like our beers, which are y'all imports, right?
Yeah, we import some, brew some of them here. Like we just brew the Budweiser here because that's easier because Canadians drink a lot of beer. And they said, okay, we're bringing Budweiser into Canada. And Labatt's is just like, we'll just make it. And we're like, okay.
Well, we got it. Don't even worry about it. It's
Yeah.
the same fucking shit. Damn, so they're doing it. It's not Anheuser-Busch. It's another company that's doing Budweiser there. Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think the same parent company owns both Labatt's and Anheuser-Busch.
Ah, that makes sense.
So, which is like some Brazilian or Austrian company or something. You know,
There's always a
Hyper
bigger
Global
company out there.
or something. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like there's always a bigger company out there fucking owning people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Like Labatt's was Canadian, then they sold it in the 80s to Interbrew, which was, I think, a Belgian company, because they also own the Toronto Blue Jays baseball team, which is technically the full name, the Labatt's Blue Jays.
The Blatts. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all's
Labatt,
team. Y'all's
the beer
team
company owns the Major League Baseball team.
What the fuck? I didn't even know that.
Yep.
I wonder if they're getting wasted all day.
True. No.
Well, you know, most of our major arenas have breweries on site.
Yeah.
Like they brew it on site? Damn. I didn't
Brew
even
on
know.
site. They have breweries in the basements of most arenas and stadiums. It's just, again, easier.
Microbrewery or like a miniature, like a
Yeah, it'd be a smaller scale, but it's a Molson or Labatt's or
yeah.
Carlsberg or
Yeah,
I think they do
most
Carlsberg at the
stadiums
soccer
have 'em.
stadium.
Yeah, most stadiums have them. Just depends on like what will be like the local one and stuff like that. I know in San Francisco it's also Budweiser and stuff because we have the Budweiser large brewing thing right across the bay.
Mhm.
Like,
That's
right
crazy.
across the stuff.
I mean, of course, that makes sense to do it with like beer and shit. Because I mean, you need to be pumping that beer out every second. But it'd be funny if you had to do that with something like food or something like
Right.
steak or something. Just imagine how many cows you have to be grazing the pasture on the outside.
Yeah, you got the butcher shop like
Yeah,
3 levels below ground.
everybody's just watching the game, eating steak. What is this like?
Yeah.
Fucking watching people fight like in a gladiator.
Yeah, you're in the cheap seats of the open air, so you can see out the back. Hey, look at that! There's a cattle truck being backed in during the third inning.
They sliced that cow in half. That's
yeah.
gonna be yummy.
Yeah, I'm going down
Yep,
during the
straight up.
7th inning stretch. That's gonna be some fresh burgers.
God damn it! During the 7th inning stretch, dude, some Harry Carey shit right there.
Thank you, Sandra.
Fierce Metal Dante in the house. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Fierce Metal Dante?
Fierce.
We were talking all last night, or
Oh, yeah.
for an hour last night, or this morning actually. That's pretty much. That's pretty much why we were I was a little late.
Oh, it's Fierce's fault.
It happens.
No, it's my fault.
So, Fruitcake Tony asked, "What's Alex and Garrett's favorite guitar player of all time?" Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably already knows Ben's.
He does.
So, I mean, Ben, tell our viewers what yours is.
In no particular order, because there's a few of them. So the 3 that got me into playing was my dad, Eddie Van Halen, and Ace Frehley. But I also have to add in definitely Ronnie Wood, Jimmy Page, Izzy Stradlin, and Rick Richards.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, good choices. I know definitely
would.
one of the top ones I would have to say is McMars stuff. Molly Crew.
Great choice.
Always.
Love Mick
So-
Mars.
Huge fans of Mick Thompson and Jim Root of Slipknot for my own stuff. Low underrated guitar player. His name is Chris Garza from Suicide Silence because he plays all kinds of stuff too. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the classic greats of like Van Halen and stuff like that. So,
Hey, yeah, that was Eddie Van Halen and Ace Frehley for me got me started because they were both smiling so much while they played.
right?
All right. That's what's
Favorite
up.
guitar player, Gargets, of all time?
That's a very broad question.
Right.
I could spend all day answering that, but I mean, let's just go with Necrophagus guitar player Muhammad. That dude's a beast.
See, I was expecting you to say something like Frank Zappa.
I love Frank Zappa too, but like I said, it's a very, very broad thing, and I'm going with skills that I can dial back to. So, or skills that the guy can actually dial back his skills to. So it's like, I'm pretty sure you can play some Zappa, but yeah, Zappa's up there. But
So,
it's badass.
whose guitar tone would you want to have?
I just fucking make my own. I would literally just try to make my own. I'd fucking crank that shit up until I fucking am literally satisfied. Because I don't know, I'm not satisfied with a lot of fucking guitar tones. Like I have to have 2 amps just to make one tone.
Well, that's fine. But is there like a guitar player out there who you're like, that tone is the tits?
Maybe when it comes to a solo, but like when it comes to like a riff, like the rhythm, it's few and far between before I hear like good tone or good tone and good fucking mids, which is rare. Yeah, that's hard, but I good solo tone, yeah, that's fucking dope.
I'm just trying to think of something
good high end,
heavy high gain to cleans.
For me, favorite tone, Jerry Cantrell, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
That's an amazing tone right there.
Mm-hmm. That high end stuff, like I was saying.
Yep.
He had a what? PRS?
G&L for years.
G&L.
No, I used to have a G&L. I used to have one of those.
I used to have one. I never had one of those. I've always had Ibanez or a fucking cheap ass Squire.
Yeah, I ended up trading it for the Gibson.
Oh, did I have a Squire? No, I always borrowed a Squire.
See, Sandra says Dimebag Daryl. You see, I love Dimebag Daryl's tone, but it also just works just for almost his stuff.
And it sounds better loud.
I mean, yeah, Dimebag is a tone that I would like totally go for too at the same time because I know what it takes to get it. Like he puts like a little chorus in there, and then he has like these old like racks for little reverb in there. And then he scoops all of his mids, and then while he scoops his mids down, he gets a fucking 10 graphic EQ or 32 band EQ, and he fucking puts back the mids, which is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. That's how you get his tone, pretty much. Well, that in the fucking, it's all in the hands, and it's all in your fucking amp too.
Janice says she's returned to G&L before.
Jesus.
Well, what was wrong with it?
It didn't come with Jerry Cantrell.
I got mine used, so, but it was just that was a player. Oh man, that was.
I played them, but I've never owned one.
No, I've never even played one.
They're definitely fun to play and stuff. Because I had like one of the old. It was like a 90. It was like one of the late 90s, Fullerton and stuff from California, ASAC Classics and stuff. So it was one of the nice USA made ones.
Mm-hmm.
Fullerton. Oh, okay.
It was muddy.
It was muddy. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've noticed about the pickups in them or two stuff. But I mean, yeah, you change the pickups, get the muddiness out of there. But
I mean, that's the quirks of it. Like it's like the I don't know. I guess that's its tone. That's its signature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking that sound. I mean, when you're playing like rock and roll music or something, like you would need that in there.
It depends on the GNL, I guess, and stuff. Mine was the telly with the 2 actual telly single coils.
Well, that should be clear.
So mine wasn't as muddy and stuff. Quite bright.
Fucking, I don't know, like a Ram Jam
like
kind of muddy.
Right now.
Oh,
got a couple.
Only
seeing like that band Ram Jam. That was pretty muddy guitar on Woe Black Betty.
Fruitcake Tony.
True.
Another question: favorite drummer of all time?
Mm.
I mean, you can't ever go wrong with Phil Collins. I mean, Phil Collins.
I'm gonna go with Tommy Lee.
One of my favorites always.
Like what he did with a double kick before double kick pedals were a thing, you know, but yet he was still working the hi-hat open and close like Bonham style, and then randomly throwing in cowbells, and he did some pretty damn cool grooves. He was doing Vinnie Paul type grooves, you know, 10, 15 years earlier to a completely different style of music, and you wouldn't notice it until you're like, hey, who rides a hi-hat, you know, right on the, or a ride right on the bell?
Right on the bell.
Paul and Tommy Lee were two guys that did that.
That, I think Vinnie Paul said that he made that riff. He made that drum part, and then they threw it into the song. It didn't happen the other way around. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely a drum part you fucking make. And then Dimebag just hops in there and just fucking finishes it off.
Sort of like how a lot of Metallica songs, they're like, what the fuck are you doing, Lars? Fine, play around you.
I saw this guy, he said,
It's got simple beat, baby.
this guy talks about how Lars already tricks everybody into thinking he's going thrashy, but he's going halftime and stuff like that. I was like, geez, and he's like really nailing it. I was like, dude, he's really playing the sloppiest fucking Lars. It's crazy. But
Lars, I'll just play fills, and that's going to be my beat. No.
It's like, Lars, have you heard of a quick track? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Duh.
That's how we get the groove. What, you constantly being before and after the beat? That's the groove?
Yeah.
Alex Van Halen's another great drummer. Yeah.
What is he doing? I would say my drummers.
Great drummer.
Whoa. I'm wearing the shirt right now. Entheos, the Veen Copperized. That dude's a badass fucking drummer. And Terry Bozzio from Frank Zappa.
Sure.
He's still amazing to this day. This dude's like,
I'm going to throw it
60 something, just fucking shredding.
You know, two of my faves being definitely John Bonham, definitely, and Peter Criss.
Oh, okay.
Peter Criss.
Really?
Yeah, I remember I brought that up on a show I was on. I think it was on Johnny Bean's channel. I mentioned Peter Criss, and Nesdal was on at the time, and he lost it. He was like, Peter Criss couldn't even hold a beat. I'm like, he was all over the place because he was drunk all the time. I'm like, well, no wonder I'd get along with him as a guitar player. and then Dave's just like, I have nothing to come back to that. You know, like, based off your logic, yeah, he's probably the perfect drummer for you. Yeah.
Fucking, that's the Drunken Masters right there.
Yeah.
It's like Jackie Chan and his master.
Drunken Masters.
I love that movie. Where the fuck is? Forgot about that last night. You were just going off on that shit. Maybe it was like 2 days ago. Roy Jenkins. I'm surprised you don't have a fucking like cheap guitar solo, like fucking Bill and Ted.
I don't think it doesn't have one.
Oh, you're gonna have to program it now.
Well, that's
Phil Rudd 4/4 human metronome. Yeah, no kidding.
Phil Rudd 4/4.
Yeah,
that's different. Programming stuff is just programming stuff is different than me like just grabbing a random app off the iOS app store.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose for honorable mentions for drummers, I should throw it the mighty Neil Peart.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going.
Eric Brown, gospel drummer that's in also Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
It's fucking badass. Fuck, there was a guy that Dream Theater when what's his name left Dream Theater, this guy took over. I forgot his name, but this guy could play around a fucking metronome.
When Portnoy left?
Yeah, when Portnoy left, they got this other guy, and this guy could play
Adler,
around.
Anyone? Oh, yeah, Adler's great.
He was good.
Adler's amazing.
Adler.
Oh, yeah.
They could play around like this. He could play around the fucking metronome. It was one of those drummers that's just groovy, like entirely way too groovy. Adler's pretty dope. The guy who replaced Adler was pretty dope too. Art Cruz, right? No, wait. Are we talking about Adler from
Guns N' Roses?
Lamb of God.
No, Lamb of God. Okay. I don't know which Adler we're talking about.
No, that would be Guns N' Roses' original drummer.
Okay.
Steven Adler.
The other one's Chris Adler. That's
Chris
what it
Adler.
was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Hey, I got a great idea for this album, guys. Let's EQ out all the bass on it. That would rock, Lars.
Bass
I thought that
shelf.
I thought what happened was that they just hated on Jason Newsted, so they fucking lowered his bass. Well, they took it off. I heard that he recorded his entire bass parts.
Oh, it's there, way down in the mix. Yeah, but it was to free up more frequencies for James for the bottom end of his guitar, although it's not there, and Lars's kick drum, I guess, because we need to hear that more.
Even though you could easily daisy or side chain this fucking bass to have a fucking treble and a mid and a fucking low end.
I know the word. I remember when I bought the Injustice for All album. I got home, I put it on, and I went, "Is there something wrong with my system? Like, where's the bottom end?" Because I was waiting for the album to come out, so I've been listening to Master of Puppets, and this is clearly not Master of Puppets. I went, "What the hell is this crap?"
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of decent songs on, but it was a largely forgettable album. Then the Black Album came out, and I went, "I'm done," because I was like, because every time, like, the Black Album was the biggest cock tease as a Metallica fan, because I could hear, the build up in the song, it start building up, and I'm like, okay, Lars is going to kick it, or there's going to be the drumsticks will snap a couple times, and they'll double up the speed. Here it comes. Here it comes. Every song, I'm like, nope. Well, maybe the next song they'll speed it up. Nope. And then I realized, the album's over. I'm like, what is that? A whole album of ballads?
Yeah, it's the only album they played at strip clubs back then.
It was played at strip clubs a lot.
Yeah. So when that's happening, you know that the fucking the band is dead. And
well, they had to play something other than Lita Ford's "Close My Eyes Forever."
Oh,
which is probably still being used at strip clubs.
Yeah, that in every.
That was always the third song. That was the third song.
That was the third song.
It's always used.
Well, when Metallica came out with that Black Album, I'm glad they kind of did on one end, because it was Pantera saw a way in the industry and they fucking owned it.
Yep. Because that was the summer of the Black Album and Far Beyond Driven.
Mm-hmm.
And Far Beyond Driven it made Metallica look like Devo. A bunch of nerds. Like, it was because it was so heavy and so polished. Like, a real musical fan, you're like, ooh, this is really slick. Like, and it was catchy, and it was EQ'd right for radio because they're playing in D, and digital was allowing it to sound better over the airwaves, and they played it to death.
It was all like just timing, man. Like, I mean, the album before that did well too, but Far Beyond Driven just literally went far beyond driven for them, and they fucking they basically became the next band that was like next heavier band.
It was the 90s equivalent of heavy equivalent of the Black Album. Was definitely the Beatles. Boom, heads above everybody. And Far Beyond Driven, that was the Stones. Dirtier, raunchier, heavier, not quite as commercially successful, but right there.
Yeah.
Right.
The Stones.
But I will say, by 1995, I saw kids walking around Pantera shirts on. I didn't see kids walk around Metallica shirts on. And then by the end of the 90s, it was Pantera and Slipknot shirts, no Metallica shirts.
Oh, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, yeah. Well, that too.
Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, that's thing, like Slipknot, I can appreciate. I wouldn't know a Slipknot song if you played it for me, because I never got into them. However, I appreciate them because they were on Guitar World 3 times a year, and I saw every kid, if they weren't wearing a Pantera shirt, they're wearing a Slipknot shirt. So I'm like, well, they're that generation's Beatles. Like, okay, I get it.
I mean, I was one of those kids. I was either wearing Pantera.
If you've ever listened to rock radio, I bet you I could play 2 songs that you might know.
Yeah, I listened to 2 channels on satellite radio: Ozzy's Boneyard and Hair Nation.
Hair Nation. and the Boneyard, and then
See, the only thing
sometimes
I
I'll,
can think of, like the only two like radio-friendly songs of like Slipknot, is Psychosocial and Snuff, which is like their ballad, and then their like most famous song.
I used to listen to Octane once in a while, looking for material to cover when I was in When to Live, because we had a kind of a Godsmack feel to us. So
now this is a good fucking goddamn segment on the contrast it would show on how our age difference is, because I bet you Ben could play a fucking song that we don't fucking know. I'll tell you this, but
my taste, I go old to begin with too. You know, I listen to more stuff my parents should have been listening to. Like, why didn't you buy these albums when they came out? Because we don't like that stuff.
because we had you.
Yeah. Well, you know, but as much gain as Dad likes on guitar is like CCR and Steppenwolf. That was as close to heavy metal as Dad ever got. CCR and just give me a little touch of gain, you know, type thing.
I think like everybody in the North has CCR.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Plus,
mean,
you're
even right
careful-
here in the South too. But
Well, and at that time too, it's not like today where at that time you bought the album on Friday and by the next week your band's covering the songs in the bars.
yeah, that was crazy. It's like they would spend like a whole day just rewinding the fucking tape.
Oh hell yeah! Like I remember even seeing buddies play in the early 2000s, and they were still playing like new music, like the latest single by the Foo Fighters or Chili Peppers, and you know who else, Matchbox 20 or whoever else was popular around 2000. They drove the line at Nickelback. When Nickelback broke big, then we're just like, oh, we're all
I
fucked.
think
Nope,
everybody
gone.
did.
See ya.
This is just drop D country. This is all
He
that.
brought it up. He brought up the N word.
It was just fucking mainstream rock and roll to the T. Fucking they were so formulaic that they even stole their own formula. And there's a Nickelback song that sounds exactly like a Nickelback song, and somebody put one on the right ear and one on the left ear, and they fucking have the same chord changes at the same time.
And being in Canada, they spawned so many wannabe Nickelback because Chad had the studio in Canada too, so you get Canadian radio play automatically. So we had like 3 or 4 other bands that also sounded like him. Like
Jesus
lot.
Christ.
So,
I can't believe Nickelback.
we call it like a Theory of a Nickel Creed because it was Theory of a Dead Man, Nickelback, and Creed.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe Nickelback bought out a fucking Dimebag Darrell unused solo track and edited
Look at this photograph.
edit them. He edited it to make it into a Nickelback solo.
Right.
They did that, and I was like, dude, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
You got a dead guy's solo and put it in a band that nobody wants it in.
Yeah, but because it's so different that their fans would never know it, right? That reminds me of
Oh, they don't even play it live. They have to play it to a click track.
like when I got together, I was dating a girl, and she was a Limp Bizkit fan. Okay, so she starts playing a Limp Bizkit album in the car, and she starts singing along to Behind Blue Eyes. So I start singing along to it, and she's like, "How do you know the lyrics to a Limp Bizkit song?" I'm like, "Because it was a hit for the fucking Who 40 years ago."
Yeah. That one, I was like, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and of course, and I'm singing it the way Roger Daltrey would sing it, where I would hit the high notes where there was the high notes, and Fred Durst can't, so he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at it, she goes, "You're singing it wrong." I'm like, "No, I'm singing it right."
I'm seeing it right, yeah. It's like
That was their first fight, I think.
a lot of first fight. And then we broke up.
Yeah, then we broke up. Kick to the curb.
Right?
So we're gonna disagree on Limp Bizkit. All right, bye.
But the makeup sex was great.
Sadly, the soundtrack was Limp Bizkit, but hey.
There's no Limp Biscuit there.
Hey,
Nope.
Joe Hervey.
What's up, Kid Shred?
We got Herbie in the house.
Nice.
Yeah, Joe Hervey 84.
What up?
Meadow.
Oh, sweet. Joe got his new guitar,
Hey. What the hell?
which I
Is that
believe
Rockets?
he got a Jackson JS32.
Yeah, Jackson Live.
I believe.
What's up, boys? Yes. MC was like, Tonic was hot in the early 2000s.
Yep.
Tonic. I don't know if I
Never got
remember
into Tonic myself, but several friends, they were into Tonic.
I don't know if I remember
headphones
Tonic.
got pulled out.
Yeah, it's when you did up and did the robot.
Been there.
I was like, damn it, now I gotta fucking find this shit.
Well, we'll probably hop on out of here the next 5 minutes, guys, and probably just hang out after the show and stuff if you guys want.
Pretty sure Ben's going live after this, right?
Hell no.
No, it's Tuesday.
What?
No, I was live Sunday. I was live Monday.
Yes.
I'm live with you guys
Thursday.
tonight, and then I'm live again tomorrow night on the NASCAR show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just trying tonight.
Got to finish doing a video that's going to get released tomorrow too.
Oh, there you go.
Shit.
A pedal demo. Imagine that.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I would never know.
Well, it
Right.
took me
Is it
about
the
2
one-
years to do the demo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought it was going to be the one. When we saw the
It is.
pictures,
Sounds
that
like the
blue
one. Oh.
That was the new blue one.
So you've done demos on all those pedals already?
Pretty much. Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
What about that amp, that red amp on your right?
I haven't done the red amp yet, and there's very few demos on it because it was only available for a year or two. There's demos on just the head portion, which has an internal speaker, and then somebody had it plugged into a different cab, but nobody's done the actual combo. So they should do that at some point. Although I don't know how many are even available. Like I don't know if view-wise,
what the metadata would say on that.
Yeah, like it'll be 100 you find folks the first day, and then that's it. Yeah.
Always throwing it as a rarity, real quick at the end of a
Well,
video.
and that, after being locked down for a year and being the channel the size of mine, I don't have companies knocking down my door. So, like, I need gear. If you're some company watching this, I need some gear. Hit me up.
He's that gear. Get him that gear.
Although I did get a tracking number on a piece of gear today, so.
Hey.
Not saying it's
By
a
the way, if you
limited
see what
edition
MC says.
Lawrence Petros delay, but hey, there we are.
You had a good view of chocolate starfish. Oh God, MC. Yeah, he's talking about you and your girlfriend. Oh my God, we didn't even get to the albums yet.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we missed it and stuff. So what's another question that Tony asked earlier? 3 favorite albums of all time, or what's your 3 favorite album of all? Like us 3, our favorite album of all time. My bad.
Wow.
Like that's what I mean.
All right, I'm gonna go for some influential albums that inspired me to play. So that would be one of the first albums I ever got, Kiss's Double Platinum, because it was kind of a greatest hits, and it got me into Kiss. Stevie Ray Vaughan's Live Double Shot, which was a live album he did, which was one of the few cassettes my dad ever purchased in his life. I think my dad only ever bought 3 albums, and that was one of them. And he never covered Stevie Ray Vaughan, but he just said, this kid is the real deal type thing. He was a fan, so I got into that. And how about the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street?
Okay. Steve, I like that Vaughn one. Rolling Stones, badass.
All right, for me, I'm gonna have to say probably number 2 would be Metallica's Kill 'Em All and stuff, because my family has that on record and stuff that I used to listen to.
He says my family. I remember riding down to the record shop to buy it myself.
Right.
1986.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, it's that one and stuff. It's that exact one. It's the one that we have and stuff. It was the one my dad's kept from his collection and stuff before he lost it and then refound it again. But and then oh my gosh, I have to say one album for me would be, I have to say, Black Crown by Suicide Silence for my music and stuff. Great, just great guitar playing and stuff.
I'm going to throw an honorable mention of Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz.
Ooh,
that was a powerful album.
Yeah. See, like, there's just too many albums. I mean, like, I could definitely go into like Motley Crue's "Girls, Girls, Girls" and like
Their first album.
Yeah.
Crue's first album. That's like it's
Oh, yeah.
punk rock and metal and rock and roll all in one because it's mixed like a punk album. It's got some, you got a little bit of Motorhead, a little bit of Judas Priest, a little bit, in that
first
tone.
album's killer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's killer. I mean, I kind of lost after Theater of Pain, and then
Well, they got sober.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
girls,
then there
girls,
was-
girls. No, they were still having a good time. Girls, girls, girls. Then they
Yeah.
got sober
And
for
then-
Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. Well, it was like most of them got sober. There was one or two that was still partying.
At that time, no, they were all sober for that tour. That was
it for-
after Nikki
was
with
it
the
for Dr.
heroin
Feelgood
and
that-
Tommy
Oh,
with
okay.
the heroin. And, Mick
No,
was
that's when-
probably
no,
still
but that's
medicating,
when-
but Mick gets a free pass because Mick looked like he was in
Yeah,
pain
'cause-
from day one.
Yeah, he also got a free pass because he didn't fucking be a dipshit. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm just in my house alone. Like, man, I got stuck here, man.
Mick just married poorly. That's all.
Yes.
Is he married to who?
But
Oh yeah.
and I mean, like, Guns N' Roses and stuff. The first album.
Great
and stuff.
album.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
so there is so many things and stuff. I have to say, like, more for me is like the game Guitar Hero and stuff like that, with such a large plethora of music and stuff like that from all different genres. That's what really like perpetuated me for being. So there's good compilation
See, I
discs.
got a
Steel
question at
Panther,
the end
yes,
there.
MC.
Joe asked, did my Jackson have sharp fret ends? No, it did not. I don't
Did
think
it?
so. No, it was pretty good.
Huh.
Mine
It
doesn't
might
even-
now because it's been a couple of years. This would be the year.
Mine doesn't have any sharp fret ends that I feel usually.
Let's see, I played on a Jackson with a sharp fret end. Believe
Depends.
that was like
Is it,
that was probably like a
is it
2002.
used, That's the other good question. Mine's new, so mine don't got sharp fret ends.
Give it a couple of years.
Yeah.
Let it
Oh, yeah, I
cycle
know,
through
in a few
the
years, so that's
weather,
fine.
and the seasons a couple of times. So
Yeah, but that's
as
fine.
long as
Yeah.
it doesn't get too dry in there in the winter, you're good.
Right, yeah. Then MC asked me Steel Panther, and I'm like, yes, of course, I love Steel Panther. But that's different. I wouldn't say they're one of my favorite. Like, they got good music and they're great.
They're a
fun bands
satire
and stuff
band.
like that. But
Right.
yeah, it's a gimmick and stuff. So
Yeah, but it isn't
Well, all
Kiss
right,
these
guys.
days.
Mhm.
oh yeah, exactly. They're like the Kiss, they're like the Guar and stuff like that. But they're doing it for the '80s hair metal bands.
Sure.
Pure gimmick.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to continue the legacy, right?
That's right.
Hey man, right? Well, all right, guys, we're hitting over here over the 2-hour mark and stuff like that. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Ben, plug your stuff. What do you got to say and stuff for your show?
Thanks for having me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Just do a search on the old inner Googles of my name. And I'll be there. I go live every Sunday and Monday, Sunday night with the Sunday Night Hang. Yeah. Which, Alex, you should probably join in at some point on Sunday, and maybe Garguts as well, since I'm doing a NIM reunion-y type thing.
Ooh, that
So-
sounds
Is that
That
this
sounds-
Sunday?
badass.
So, things will be partaken in. JJ will be there. Aaron will be there. We might be able to talk as a result. We're not sure. We'll see.
Try to get Sean.
Yeah.
I got to hit up Sean. Keep forgetting. Maybe our Hungarian homie Laz will pop in as well. Crash the party because he doesn't have an AM pass, so that would make sense. Demos out on the channel, live streams, random videos as well. Who knows? Anything goes on my channel. That's
Wait,
Yeah,
are you gonna
there
have?
is a link for Ben down in the description. So
Are you gonna get Mike
we'll just click that and see his
Captain?
China Mike.
No, you're gonna get Mike
channel.
Captain Mike.
Captain Michael Smith.
Oh,
Oh,
Michael. I haven't talked to Mike Smith in a while. I should hit him up. I haven't talked
If
to
you
him.
do, I'm definitely gonna.
He's been
case of Bud
busy on
Light.
He's been busy with Amtrak.
Yeah, he is. If he does get on, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I've got that Bud Light for you, buddy." That one that I never came back with. Shit.
No.
Found it.
Well, thank you all for stopping by. I hope you all have a great, wonderful rest of your evening, afternoon, mornings, stuff, wherever you guys are around the world. Are you guys ready?
We're doing.
Little